Welcome everyone to Good Life Grilling. My name is Chris and we're up here in northwestern Wyoming. Today we're going to smoke some pork shoulders from a pig that we bought from Gallagher's Farms. So let's get at it. Alright, first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a rub together, and it's a sweet rub that's got a great heat on it, but it goes incredibly well on the pork shoulder. First thing what we're going to do is we're going to take some sugar. Now, sometimes people end up, depending on how sweet you want it, you could do a cup or you could do a cup and a half. I don't like the sweet as much, so I do a half a cup. All right, then we got a quarter of a cup of paprika. And any of these ingredients you can use however much you want. Play around with it. I do a tablespoon of garlic. We're doing 2 tablespoons of chili powder. And we've also got some cayenne. Now some people out there are gonna like it really, really hot. Others not so much. As far as us, we do a tablespoon. And then we have black pepper. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of that. Alright, so there we go. Take our container, get a motor oil funnel on there. Now we're going to pour it in. We're ready to go. All right, so here we got our pork shoulders. Like I said, they've been sitting in the fridge all night. I put salt on them. And so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the rub on. And what I like to use, kind of to help the seasoning adhere to it, is good old-fashioned mustard. So I like to put this on here really liberally. One of the nice things about having it in a pan is that it doesn't get all over the countertop. Try to get all sides. And one of the things about putting the salt on it and letting it sit overnight is that salt will absorb into meat 1/4 inch the first hour, and then 1/8 of an inch every hour after that. And there we are. And now we'll take it out to the smoker. Now today we're going to smoke it on the barbecue pit grill. Now, we're going to count out 40 briquettes. Now what I like to use is I like to use the Weber cubes, lighter cubes to start the coals. spread the coals around a little bit. Get a nice even burn. And I'm not going to put the wood on yet because I want to get this nice and hot prior to doing that. Otherwise, you end up using up a majority of your wood. Lay it in there. So let's go ahead and put this on. And the nice thing is now we can go watch some football. So I wanted to cover a few things while that's smoking. So one of the things that we're shooting for is we're shooting for it to get to be about 160 degrees. That's going to be the stall. Here in Wyoming, and I don't know if it's because of the altitude, but it actually stalls around 154, 155. When that stall happens, it happens because the meat starts to sweat. And when it's sweating, it's cooling that meat off, that moisture is building on the outside, and that's what helps create that bark. So what we want to do is we want to let it be in that stall for really as long as you can. You know, 3-4 hours is going to be really good. That Texas Crutch, when I put it in one of those tinfoil pans, any of the juices that come out of it gets collected in that pan. And when it gets taken up to that 203 degrees, some people do 195. I personally like 203. Seems like that's when I get the best results. But when I pull that pork apart, it's gonna be in those juices. It helps with that moisture, but when it hits that 203 degrees, the fibers or the things that hold the muscle together and make it super tight, those melt, and that creates a moisture inside that meat and keeps that flavor in there. So while that's finishing up, we're gonna root on Oregon in the bowl game, so go Ducks, and we'll see you here in a sec. When we get inside, we'll go ahead and check the temperature and see exactly what it's at. 152. Like I said, for some reason, here in Wyoming, that's where it stalls at. Again, I don't know if it's elevation. The idea of the Texas Crutch is like if you were to put a plastic sack over yourself. It's going to hold that moisture in, hold the heat in, and you're going to get a lot hotter. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this to speed up the process of getting the internal temp to 203 degrees. Now, as far as the temperature for the oven, what we're going to do is we're going to put it at 325, and that's going to help speed up that process. Okay, so now we're going to take it out. We're going to check the temp. $200, $201. So we're going to put another cover over it. We're just going to let it sit for a little bit. Alright, so now we're going to let it sit for probably about a half hour, 45 minutes. And I did kind of a makeshift Fox Cambro. So I took an old sweatshirt, or take a new sweatshirt, or take a towel or a blanket, but just wrap it up in that, let it sit, and that's where all the magic happens, and allows it to pull apart just a little bit better. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and take this off. Take a look at it, shred it up. All right, now I'm going to finish getting this torn apart. Thank you for coming along with me. I hope that you learned something. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see some more, and we will see you later on. And remember, the best barbecue is the one that you're at.